The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests. If you're a sensitive snowflake that may get easily offended, then turn this off immediately. If you want to hear the real truth about the gun culture, then stick around. This is the Armed Citizen Podcast. What is going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 150. This week's episode is brought to you by our good friends at Sportsman's Guide. Guys, if you're out there and you're looking for anything firearms, hunting, outdoor fishing, anything that's any relation to outdoors life, they've probably got over at Sportsman's Guide. Maybe not some ammo right now, but if you can find ammo anywhere, let me know. I need some. I need to restock some. So go check out our good friends over at Sportsman's Guide. They're great friends of the channel, great friends of the podcast and all that. We are live as always on YouTube right now. If you're over in the side chat and here live, go ahead and say hello. We don't know that you're out there unless you say something. If you want to ask a question to myself or Chris or Clover, make sure you tag one of us and we'll make sure we get to as many questions as we can. I can't promise we'll get to everyone. We're going to try to get to them all. If you're watching a replay or listening in podcast form, the conversation does not have to stop. Utilize the comment section below and we'll get to those questions as we can. You can also text or call the questions into the Ghost Tactical Hotline presented by our good friends Rod and Shelly Gates at the Gun Cleaners. Number is scrolling down below. It is 530-364-4678, or you can call 530-36-GHOST. So tonight we've got a fun one. We've got a good friend of ours who everyone knows. This guy he literally does everything. I mean, I don't know how he has enough time to fit in everything that he does, but he's an author. He's obviously a veteran. You guys know him from maybe the Benghazi every situation, but he did War Heroes. He's written books. He's got a foundation. He's got Battleline Tactical with training. Literally, he has his own podcast. I mean, he's everywhere. Let's bring in our good friend, Chris Tanto Paronto. What's up, Chris? Oh, I muted you. I'm sorry. Start over.
No. Hey,
there you go.
Trey, what's good? Opera headspace and time is always the main screw up, dude. Always. But it's me. I'll blame myself on that one.
I'm not very smart, so it's all good.
Oh, and now said, I don't even, there's no argument.
So there could be a little doggy jar head, little tiff, but it's all good.
There always is, dude. But then when it comes down to, we'll make fun of seals and we'll be fine.
If you can't make fun of squids or fly boys, then something's wrong. I'm just saying,
I like it. Well, I was saying, actually, I'm back to doing insurance adjusting too now. Like when people see in the movies, the movie Accurate, that scene where the chief said, "Hey, yeah, maybe be happy being insurance." That's spot on. I've been a licensed insurance adjuster for FEMA for 20 some years, and it was.
Are you working for FEMA?
FEMA for National Flood Insurance and all, and I've been doing that every time I'd come home from a deployment. It was a way for me to actually just to be normal, and I enjoy it. And now that I'm home a lot more, I actually, because of the certification, been doing it for so many years. I enjoy just sitting on my butt looking at files. I'm that guy now. Hey, just give me a file. I'm gonna sit on my ass and look over people's stuff. I don't give a crap if I'm a computer all day, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine. So I'm back. I'm back to.
You're a spokesman of high quality shooting glasses.
Yeah, wait, do it. We're just doing that. Yeah, right here. Should I do the whole interview right here? Here we go. Right here.
We were talking. So it's been like 5 years since you did that commercial. That's crazy.
I know it's been since 2016, so 4, and they keep running it. And they're good people. That's one thing is most people I've gotten involved with. And I always do it, and I know you feel the same way. If you're going to press or push something, you better, by God, use it. I mean, don't get out there and push something if you're not going to use it. And guys, well, guys, I use them. I'm wearing them all the time. I use them on the range, and a lot of that comes from integrity with the people I work with. I was with some groups that didn't have a lot of integrity, and they make great products, but the head shed wasn't where I felt it needed to be ethically, so I left them. And then you're with people that, the product, we're going to make fun. I get it. I'd make fun of myself. I do all the time. But man, those people down at Idea Village that do the glass, they have great integrity. So, and I just, it's a blessing that I got involved with companies and figured it out over the last 4 or 5 years of who really has integrity within their own head shed, and it does reflect in the products, and it does reflect how they treat people. So it's always the whole gamut of things, not just can I make money off this? Because that's to me, that's when you actually have sold out. And again, believe me, it comes with the territory. I've been called that before, but I'm telling people right now, everything that I push, I use and I stand behind, and and that's how it should be if you're going to be out there repping gear, and that's the right way to do it. So, but the sunglasses, they're awesome. You make fun of me all you want, because
I've got some. They're cool, man. I just, they're right there.
What gets me with people? What I tell people, I'm like, guys, people, there's I got one guy. He came back. The refraction of the light is this, and I can't see this. And I tell him, like, dude, they're not going to make you a better shooter. If you can't shoot, you still can't shoot with the sunglasses on or not. I hate to break it to you, but all you haters out there, if you're coming with those kind of questions, save them. All right, that just goes down to training and shooting. Sunglasses make no difference whether they're Oakleys or Gators or HD Vision. If you can shoot, you can shoot. Period.
I love Gators. I wear Gators a lot. I wear Venture Gear Tactical some, but I love Gators. But sometimes the best ones, they're great. They're great. But some of the best ones are the ones you can go get for $2 at Walmart. Just throw them on, and if you break them, you break them. It's all good.
That's the best thing about them. If I leave them at a range, I'm not getting home going, holy crap, I lost my $120 glasses. They're gone. Right. And that's a benefit too. But I have my Oakleys that I run in. I still like the high end stuff too. They feel good, but it's just it's part of the game, and shooting with them, they've been great, fantastic, and it's fun. It's fun to poke fun. It always is. It makes it keeps you humble. Let's put it that way. Real humble.
Roll call 219 out there earlier said he was at NRAM up in Indianapolis. And he said, thanks to you for stopping by and chatting. It meant a lot to him. He says, hey, I'll have to scoot back to work. Catch on replay. Listen to this guy. He's a real deal. Don't listen to Ghost. So don't listen to me, but listen to Ghost. Yeah.
I don't know what to thank you. It's your show. What am I supposed to do? I'm like caught in a weird place right now.
He obviously thinks you're a great guy, so you've done a great job fooling him. So,
wow.
Yeah,
just taking
our co-host down here in local celebrity himself from the great state of Texas, the tactical virus. Leprechaun himself. What's up, Clover? How you doing, buddy?
Not a lot. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, chat. Just buckled in, ready for a good conversation.
This could go so many different directions, but we're gonna have a good time. Try to get some information out there. With Kris and his training, especially with Battleline Tactical. And he's got a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, he's got so much stuff. We're going to try to get as much as we can out there. But it is what it is. Jeremy, the merch guy's out there watching. Is that one of your guys, Kris?
Yeah, he is. Jeremy's, Jeremy is probably one of the smartest dudes I've ever come across. And I poke fun of him. He's from Alabama, down south Alabama. So when you talk to him, he got that slow Alabama draw. And you take it for granted that he didn't know what he's doing. But then he's cracking. He's sharp as a whip. He still needs to hit the spell check though. Everyone, I'm like, dude, spell check your shit. But you got to spell check it. All right. But no, Jeremy's awesome. And for those that don't, Jeremy works with me, and he's part of Battleline, and he does all the merch. He knows how to do all that stuff I don't know how to do. And he's being an Army veteran himself, it's a guy I can trust, and that's what I've learned the hard way in this business, brother. People you can trust and you can't. You got to keep your circle even smaller than what I was when I was working. It's that bad. And he's one of the guys that I can really trust. And he's a brilliant Army veteran, and he's walked the walk. So yeah, I love having part of the group.
Yeah. And now Clover back out there, he's talking about he's I think he's taking a shot across the bow with your sunglasses. He says he'll shill for anyone. Hit him up at Clover at shillforyou.com. So
I got you.
Always fun to poke fun at that, right?
That's right.
Always.
Because we're all going to get accused of shilling and selling out and all that, but it's part. I'm not saying selling out and shilling, but having relationship with companies with products that we use, that's part of the business. I mean, that's just part of it. So
yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it is. It comes with the territory, brother. And if you can't handle a little bit of that, then you shouldn't be doing it. And I'm gonna make fun of guys too. Believe me, I make fun of it, but again, it just comes with the territory. It's almost hypocritical at times though, because I make fun of SEALs for writing books, and then I'm like, wait a second, I got 3 of them. Yeah, I probably shouldn't do that.
And a movie, just saying.
And a movie, like, yeah, all right, but that's the thing, is that you just can't get that offended. But that comes back to integrity. If within yourself you are pushing something that you're not using, okay, all right, man, yeah, when you're doing wrong, and that's the difference. Because there's been a lot of products that have come forward that I've said, yeah, I don't think I'm going to use this, so I don't want to push it. Well, we got a good return for you. Well, no, you still can't put a price on integrity. You got to. But again, it comes with the ribbon, comes with the territory. You got to give it out just as much as you can take it, and that's just how it goes. That's what makes it fun, though, if you keep it light and it doesn't get extremely personal, which sometimes it does, especially with the days of social media, where the twat bots can say whatever they want on Twitter, and you can't do nothing about it, and you just have to. That's why I'm not on it too much anymore. I'm not on Twitter. It's too angry.
With Twitter, I don't do anything on Twitter except for my Instagram posts, and I think maybe they just automatically. Twitter, it scares me, man. It's just a weird place. It really is.
It's a terrible platform anymore. It did have its good stuff, but in the beginning, but now it's just anger and hate and it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe you tell me different. Maybe Clover say something different too, but I don't think it helps some businesses. To be honest with you, no, I don't think it helps.
They're hurting a little bit right now, and I haven't heard a lot of people. Most of the people out there in the chat probably only watch gun stuff. I'm kind of a rare duck. I watch a large variety of stuff and keep up with a lot of stuff. And, they're kind of hurting, as is Facebook, because of a lot of this hate and going at each other and everything. And it's turning off advertisers. So if they don't get a handle on it at some point, they're going to be no more.
Well, and maybe that's not a bad thing. I mean, as far as the negativity that's out there and divisiveness on Twitter, I mean, Facebook and Instagram have a bit of it, but I mean, that's just what Twitter is, straight up divisive, cool. And that's why I got off it, because I felt myself going down, and I had a lot of followers. I close to over, almost 300,000 followers on it. And I thought, well, it's cool. Oh, God, look at all these followers. But in the end, it just made me a hateful, spiteful person that wasn't helping. So it's like, you got to get off it.
So when Twitter first came out, it was I never understood it from the very beginning, and I never understood why anyone would give a shit about what I have to say in 130 characters or less. I was like, I don't understand that. So I never understood it from the beginning, so I never really got onto it.
Well, and it's hard enough to explain things sometimes in a War and Peace novel, let alone in 140 calories. It just doesn't work.
You got that right, man. You hit the nail on the head. Why do people even care? But then that's where we've got the term influencer now. I'm an influencer. What the fuck is an influencer? Man? Right. Come on. Right. I can influence, and people get paid to be an influencer. And that's where the social media, everybody can be a rock star now, which basically means to me that nobody's a rock star anymore. And saying that in the nicest way as I possibly can. But when everybody can just influence to everybody else just by a keystroke, I think it's time. It's time to take a little bit of that away and move to the next generation of media, which is not the mainstream media anymore, because that's just, I've been part of that. It's right here. Yeah, it's podcast.
Yeah. And there are some people that are rock stars. There are people that, are famous because of something crazy like that you went through. You're famous almost reluctantly, and you and I have talked about that before. And
Yeah, I don't like. Don't call me famous, dude. I ain't
I
famous.
I know. But I was, that was kind of a transition
I get
to the movie. The movie was made about obviously what happened in Benghazi, and I'm sure you've gone through Benghazi. Everyone knows about what happened in Benghazi, so I don't necessarily want to talk about that. But what I do want to talk about is when they were making the movie. And I guess you and Boone and other guys you were involved with.
Oh
that.
yeah. I myself, Oz, and Tig were probably the most involved.
Okay,
Boone was,
okay, cool.
yeah, Boone was somewhat with his character, but when it came to individual characters, they left that up to the actor themselves to really delve in how much they wanted to get to know whatever doppelganger they were going to play. Yeah. And so I know Boone did meet with Michael Bay, but that's a question for Boone because that was separately too. But myself, Tig, and Oz, we really did sit down and we had a conversation with Michael Bay right at the beginning before he even got picked because you're like, hey, this is the guy they want. And I liked him. I liked him right off the bat. I was skeptical. Believe me, I'm Optimus Prime and Bumblebee and shit. I'm like, oh, wait a second, what? What are you talking about? I'm thinking Ridley Scott or Peter Berg or something like that.
Peter Berg is if looking back on it, I would say Peter Berg. I mean, I love Peter Berg's war/action movies. He does a phenomenal job. Yeah.
And we did interview. We did talk to him, but I think really Peter had just got, and we talked to him in a hotel room in Vegas. Like, hey, what do you think? And I don't think they were leaning that way, but I don't think Peter he had just done Lone Survivor. And I remember what he said. He goes, "Are there going to be any women in this movie?" I'm like, "No, dude, it's a war movie, And it was just a, it was a redundant question. He knew there wasn't going to be. He's like, I really want to do a movie where we got some women in it this time, and he was done with the Lone. But I couldn't have been happier after the finished product and after us being on set in Malta, after us helping with the script. Pablo and I are still friends to this day. I talk to him about once a month, maybe twice. He's a great guy, just a monster though. I mean, he's obviously, he's like 6'3", 240. I'm 5'9". I'm a Ranger. I'm 5'9", 160. As you can all see out there, though, I'm a hell of a lot better looking than that SOB. I'm gorgeous.
Well, I'll say this, for a dude that's old as fuck. I mean, you're old as fuck. You're in better shape. I'm only 4 years older than me, but you're in a lot better shape than most guys that are 49. But I know that you work out with me all the time. Hell, we ran into each other in the hallway at either SHOT Show or NRAM, and you were heading to the gym like at 2:00 in the afternoon. I was like, "What the hell's going on?"
That was at. I know that was at SHOT Show because that was my time off. Like I got to go get a workout in. I got to go get something in, and it keeps me away from the bars too. Keeps you going from. Develop good habits. It keeps you from going down that rabbit hole. But thanks for saying that. But yeah, the movie itself, great. Michael listened to us. He used very little CGI, except the only CGI that I knew that he used was the mortar, simulating the mortar dropping the tube. But he just wanted to keep it accurate because he knew it was going to be down the middle aisle, regardless of how good it was going to be.
Yep.
The people on the left, we're going to just chew it up. The people on the right, we're going to worship it. And I think now, since he made it more apolitical, you don't see you don't see Obama in there. You don't see Hillary in there. You don't see, that was on purpose. But you do see the units that were moving towards us, and that's just a few of them. I mean, there were many more. People are starting because he did that, and I think because also I've kind of stepped out of the political limelight. I don't like dealing with that. I'm not political anymore. I have my views.
And that shit went crazy for a while, didn't it?
Oh yeah, but people are starting to come around to it. Yeah. It's so and it's very accurate, and they did a great job on the tactical stuff with Harry Humphreys and his team, and then the guys individually working with us. And buddy Pablo, he did one just so people know. There was a scene where he had the Mark 46. He had that belt fed, and we were doing a scene, and he did the charging handle, but he did it palm down. I'm like, whoa, you can't do that, man. Yeah. You're from Ranger Battalion. You know what? And they refilmed. Just that they refilmed that 30-second scene, and Paul's like, yeah, we got to do it again. But that's how serious they took it. Because Trey, you'd see that as a Marine, and you guys are machine gunners. You'd be like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, when I'm watching war movies, whether it's SEALs or whatever, fire team and small unit movements are the same no matter where you go. Close quarter combat's close quarter combat.
Okay,
and I'm always watching different things and trying to see how they move. What's that?
I'm an idiot. I want to know why.
Why what?
On the charging handle, why?
The up, it's just, honestly, it's just easier to manipulate, and you're getting more of a yank back to where this is the muscle. You're using your biceps, you can ratchet that thing all the way back, keep it tight. So you got to get that thing all the way to the rear. Where over the top, people will short stroke it. They'll come back and they'll short stroke it, and so when they ratchet forward, lock it, it will discharge. You'll have not an accidental, no such thing out there for you tactical guys. You'll have a negligent discharge, and you might shoot your buddy. So that's why and it's just from over time with this Marines using the saws and the Rangers using the saws and the 240s and M60s back in the day. They found this way you short stroke the charging handle, which means you wouldn't charge all the way back, but it felt like it. But when you brought it forward, it would go off on its own. So this way, it's just your muscle reaction is easier to pull all the way back, and you keep it tighter, and it gets all the way to the rear, so you don't have a negligent discharge and shoot your buddy.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Now I can complain about even more movie scenes. So
just in case you're ever around a 240, then you'll understand what.
Right. One of these days.
You're right. Clover, I tell you, I'll watch a movie and I'll see that and you're like, okay, turn it. I can't. I just can't.
One of my favorite. One of my favorite.
We're like movie stop.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite TV show right now, and it's not on right now, it'll come back on, is SEAL Team, because they do a really good job. And one of my favorite reasons is their movements. I mean, these guys, not only they've got a couple SEALs that are actually actors in the show now. They were, and I think Tyler was one, and there was another one that was one. But it is one of those things where they take pride in team movement, and that's what I really enjoy watching.
I think Hollywood now, just from even our movie, and then Lone Survivor did a very good job. Black Hawk Down did a very good job for its time. They had the same military advisors that we had on our movie. Harry Humphreys has been doing it forever. He started with The Rock. Even The Rock back then with Harry Humphreys, that was pretty damn good for the day.
Yeah, it was.
As far as tactics and the SEALs specifically coming in. But I think they're taking it more seriously because they know that we are people that like to watch movies. Veterans, and you get like Hurt Locker is a perfect example. It's honestly, the emotions of it is pretty damn accurate. And the guys, I remember that feeling when I had my young kid. Well, I had my first son who was 15. I came back and I was home for 2 weeks. I'm like, I got to get back. I don't want to be home. You were torn. But the tactics, EOD guys as a sniper, come on. You can't do that. You can't. The PMC guys acting like they're executive outcomes back in South Africa, you can't do it. And that's where you Hurt Locker, you lost. But even though the storyline itself and the emotions that you feel at that time going back and forth to Iraq, which I was doing a lot at that time, it was pretty damn accurate. It's just the tactics suck. I mean, they're wrong. And it burns the movie, which is terrible because the Hurt Locker, I think people should watch it.
Yeah. So I got a text from a guy who has a question, but this kind of ties into something. So I don't remember when it was. You don't remember, I guarantee. It was a few months ago or whenever it was. I was at home watching 13 Hours with my daughter, and it's one of her favorite movies. And she asked me, she's 23, and she asked me, she goes, do you think he was really wearing shorts and a t-shirt? Well, I sent you a text, and I was like, were you seriously wearing shorts and a t-shirt? And you replied me, and you're basically saying, yeah, and I can't remember if it was a Minnie Mouse or Mickey Mouse. I actually wore a Mickey Mouse, but Disney wouldn't let them put it in the damn movie.
I had a Mickey,
them, right?
That I should have got the shorts. They're in one of my tough boxes here in my room with all my other gear. I have the shoes. They were Obo's trail running shoes. I still have my ankle socks that I was wearing. I had a little $20 Timex. So when everybody tells you go get the big G-Shock watch, you don't have to. If you want to, go ahead. But a little $20 Timex works fine. And then I had shorts, but they were True Spec pants that I had cut into shorts and made into shorts when I was in Kandahar. When I worked in Kandahar, we had a local tailor on our base, so all the 511s and True Spec long pants I made into shorts. He cut them all up, and then I had just this, just the standard, the Mickey Mouse T-shirt that everybody gets at Disneyland, and couldn't put it in the movie. That's why Pablo got the closest thing he could, which was a panda shirt, but I still think, man, come on, what is more America than that, man? Mickey Mouse shooting terrorists. I was like, why can't we put it in the movie? That's America.
I just found the text, and it was in January. And he said, yeah, Mickey Mouse t-shirt, couldn't put that in the movie per Disney. I'm like, how in the hell would Disney not want to be part of this?
Why wouldn't you? Oh, Lord, that's what I said. I'm like, are you kidding me? Come on. Well, hot dogs, apple pie, baseball, and Mickey Mouse shooting terrorists. Didn't that all go together? I don't know. But that's where, and a lot of that, I at that time, I'd been doing DRS stuff for about 7 years. I've been deploying close to 10 at that point. And so a lot of stuff I used to do because I like to parody the toughness of all the new guys coming in. Oh, everybody's a badass. Everybody, how many confirmed kills I got? You many kick in, you many no knocks I got. How many run? Oh, my guys, come on, man. And that's why I would do a lot of that stuff. That's why I would dance with the flashlights. That's why I would dance in front of all the surveillance cameras. That's why I would be a goof. And it was the parody that, come on, we're not that badass. Everybody's a badass here. So let's just enjoy ourselves, knock that ego and that testosterone off the shoulders. And when it's time to get off, okay, bring that testosterone back. When it's not, let's just have fun, man. We're stuck in these shitty places for, excuse my language. Nah, I can say that.
No, go ahead.
No, you're good. We're stuck in these shitty places for months. Let's make it fun, not where we have an ego trip and there's a big competition with everybody. And it was like that group that we had there in Libya. That was, even though we all didn't really get along very well. Oz and I really don't get along. I hope people know that, but we don't. But it was very tolerable. We melded together because we understood each other's differences of personalities, and it wasn't a big ego fest there. It really wasn't, which it could be. And you've been in, sometimes you got tough guys there. That's just not a good place to live.
When you were doing the movie and all that, how important was it that Pablo understood that you were being the smart ass, you were being the one that, hey, I'm going to try to make this the light of the party. But when it's time to lock in, dude, let's lock in. Was that important to make sure you got your personality across?
Yeah, I did. But I think he got that just because out of all the actors, I think him and I are the ones that really hung out and communicated the most. So I don't think he got that from me telling him. I think he just got that from hanging out and just getting to know my personality, which again, as people poo-poo Hollywood, and I get it, but some of those guys like Pablo, like even Krasinski, Dominic Famusa, those guys on the movie set, they took their craft seriously. And I don't care what side of the aisle politically you're on. If you take your job seriously and you're going to give 110%, I respect you. And that's Pablo. I think I don't really care what side of the aisle on. If I was to put money on it, he's from Canada. So come on, he's probably a little bit less, but I don't care. I love the guy to death. But what he did is he took the job seriously. He wanted to get it right. He wanted to get the personality down. And of course, I'm biased, but I think he stole the show. And he got it spot on. I'm like, dude, my son was looking at me, and when the movie came out, he was 10 at the time, and 10 or 11, or 9 or 10, and he looked at me and he's like, yeah, that's my dad. Even with the chubbing, I do that at the house. He's like, yeah, he even knew what chubbing was for anybody. So. Awesome. Yeah, but it gave me a healthy respect for Hollywood, that not everybody in Hollywood is a big douchebag. I mean, there are good people there that, whether side of the aisle they're on or not, they do take their craft seriously. And he did. It was amazing. I was thoroughly impressed, and I'm still honored that I was able to be played by him, and it's going to be etched forever, which is kind of a cool thing. It's not going to go away. It's always going to be out there. Yeah.
Yep. We got a $20 super chat from G23, says, start shilling Clover and Ghost. Hopefully this will help. So what I want to do is I want to bring Chris in, and all super chats tonight are going to go to Chris's 14th Hour Foundation.
Oh, dude.
Anyone we raise tonight through super chats will be donated to the 14th Hour Foundation. So Chris, do you want to talk real quick about the 14th Hour Foundation?
As you can tell, Trey, I can't talk. I talk quick, but I can't shut up. So you may have to tell me to shut the hell up. And Clover can too. Hey, dude, shut up. You're talking too much. I got it. Sorry. 14th Hour Foundation, we started it 3 years ago, and my wife helps me run it. My wife and I do it now. We run it through a foundation here in Nebraska, so it's all legal. You got to get all your IRS paperwork done. But anyway, I just was doing other speaking events for foundations, and they were all specific. Hey, thank the SEALs, which is great, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with them, but you got thank the SEALs, you got lead the way. You got there's a Marine Corps Foundation out in Garden City, Kansas, that's fantastic. But or a police foundation or firefighters, but it's like, gosh, guys, it's like we're competing against each other. Let's bring it all together. So that's what I did. It's like, let's just do one for everybody. First responders, military, contractors, military contractors, security contractors. And I've had it for 3 years, and it's, the problem is it's not keeping the money in the account, because we're probably up around 6 figures that we have in the kitty. It's getting people to apply for the funds, man. All right, guys, we got money in here. Apply. It's just veterans don't like doing paperwork. So, guys, you got to do the paperwork. I know, what the hell? We can't do the paper. But that being said, we have provided to New York City police officers, and I'm just giving people other foundations, Dr. Ruiz, Ranger Ruiz Foundation, regroup out in South Texas, which is fantastic. And also first responders, Air Force veterans. We've been provided close to 50 grand, if not a little bit more. I have to get the exact figures out to these particular individuals to pay bills for grants. And like I said, I don't take a dime from it. We have expenses that we have to pay for at times when we do functions, so we will utilize that. Some of them, I'm being honest with you, I'm upfront, guys, because I think foundations need to do that. But so money sometimes goes to help pay for expenses. But as far as taking salaries and stuff, no, it's not what it's for. I'm taking salary for it. No, this money goes to the guys and the men and women that need it. And so, guys, if you need something out there, just go to the 14th Hour Foundation and apply for funds. And chances are you're going to get it, unless you're bullshitting me on your background, which I will find out. That hasn't happened. I just let you know. And Trey, I know you know I'm talking about with the stolen valor stuff. No, it's there, and all money's help, because I want it to be where we're short on money because we're getting it out to people who need it, especially during this whatever you want to call it. I hate
crazy times.
Pandemic, whatever, the self-inflicted, media-driven pandemic that we got going on right now. I know a lot of people are out of work, so it's there to help you, definitely.
Yeah. Quick shout out to my cousin. She's like, not my cousin, not like, hey, what up, cuz? No, like my actual cousin. Tammy's out there. She's a podcast host over in Dallas. But Tammy says that 13 Hours is one of her favorite movies, and she's learning a lot watching this video. So love you, cuz. Hopefully we see each other soon. But yeah, go check out the Plano podcast. That's my blood there. So go check out the Plano podcast.
What's her podcast? Really?
It's called the Plano Podcast. It's I grew up in Plano, Texas, and she's living there, and it's about Plano, Texas. So, but she's on that.
Beautiful place, bro. It's Dallas is, man. That's a lot of people. Plano, spent a lot of time there over the year, and they're so supportive of veterans in Plano. It's just a great place. Yeah. Definitely.
$20 super chat from Budget Guns and Gears. I'll drop you. I'll always be willing to give back to those who give to us. He is in the law enforcement. He works at a prison, so he's included in that. So yeah, Budget's a really good friend of ours too. Really good guy.
Don't be safe out there. Those guys, man, they got no weapons, and I admire the Rising Corrections. I mean, that's a job that I don't think people realize how dangerous that is, because you 100 to 1 and you got nothing. You got nothing. So thank you. I appreciate that. And hey, Trey, appreciate that too, man. I didn't expect that. You didn't mention it.
It's not a problem. I know I had on Will Chesney last week. I don't know if you know Will. He's a SEAL. Yeah. You know Will. Yep. He wanted to do Spike's K9 Fun, and so we did that to that. Let's see here. Guitar Man Pete says $5. I can do more, dude. $5. Yeah, it's awesome. So thank you.
It all helps. Believe me.
And another $20 from Uncle
That's awesome.
Grandpa. If this helps, it does, man. I appreciate it. Clover, I know you had some questions from out in the chat that I missed. Do you want to bring a couple for Chris?
Yeah, we got Sandhill Shooters out there. I think
he's in Nebraska as well, Chris.
Do we have any more? I try and come up soon. I try to do one every Christmas, right around December, at Inter 10 here in Omaha. Yeah, so I'm in North Omaha, Inter 10 range, gun range, and it's when I'm home, I can relax, and it's a fun course because it's like the end of the year and it's around Christmas time. And, of course we have to do it indoors because it's butt ass cold here in Nebraska. I'm sure Sand Hills knows that. There was a range we did out in your area though, and out near Sydney, and I can't remember the name, but we'd like to try to do it again out there. And brother, Sand Hill Shooter, if you remember that range, because I know we did one, and I don't know if you've been a part of that group. I just need to remember the range name so we can get out there and set it up again for preferably the fall or spring. It's beautiful out there. I don't know if people realize that part of Nebraska is gorgeous. And but Omaha, in December we'll get one set up. But other than that, not this year until the end of December.
Yeah, there is one I actually mentioned to someone last night on another podcast or somewhere. I can't remember what it was. It was me with Clover or something, but I'm going to try to get down right now. If I'm in Arkansas and if you go to Louisiana, you come back, it's a 2-week quarantine because of all the crap that's going on. But I know that you've got with Battleline Tactical, you've got a defensive vehicle class in Shreveport in September that I'm going to try to get to. I also told people about it because there's a guy's a truck driver who's never shot from inside a vehicle. And said, if you're going to carry one in a vehicle, you need to understand how it's going to be different shooting through glass. So let's talk about Battleline Tactical right now.
Yeah, Battleline Tactical, me and Boone and myself started it. Boone and I, he wanted to go do his own thing. I'm doing my own thing. I kept the Battleline. But we get out there and we train, do about 10 courses a year, between 10 to 12. We used to do a lot more, but it just wears me out. And honestly, I'm no good to anybody when I'm angry and grouchy because I'm old. Oscar the Grouch over here. But no, we have 4 courses. We got one coming up in Indiana here soon at Bridgecore Dynamics with Scott Wheeling. Great range. Then we have one that's fantastic in Thanksgiving and at Fort Worth, actually. Fantastic. Defender Outdoors. Wonderful people there. And then we have the one in Louisiana. That defensive vehicle course is actually indoors too, guys. So if you're worried about the humidity and stuff, I know. I was like, what? Okay. But we can do it from an indoor range. So we will be doing that. And but the training, guys, we have so much fun. I have 2 other instructors that help me. Ben Morgan, who's from 1st Ranger Battalion, worked with Triple Canopy, and Benny Glossop, who's been an MMA fighter and an instructor. Hey, there's Larry. I remember Larry's come to a couple classes. He's fantastic.
There you go.
But Benny Glossop, who's an MMA fighter, and he's been an MMA jiu-jitsu defensive tactics instructor 20-some years. They come in, and we have a great time. And people are just shocked that we have so much fun. There's no ego. There's no dogmatic teachings. You got to do it this way. No, let's figure it out. This is what fundamentals are. Now let's work with what you have to develop these fundamentals, because Trey, you may hold yourself a little bit different. Maybe you have an injury that precludes you from standing correctly or standing like me, or maybe your fingers are just, your fingers are broken. You can't hold it. Maybe your hand's this big. Well, Chamberlain's going to hold a pistol a lot different than Chris Paronto because he's got big hands, and amongst other things. So, so you're going. I'm being honest, but so
resemble that comment.
Well, as people come in and they realize that it's just relaxed, it's fun, it's no ego driven, but they do learn a lot, and we get a lot of training. I teach it like I played football all the way through college. It's how I paid for college. I grew up around my father, who was a football coach for many years at the Division I level. They actually won a national championship one year when I was growing up at Brigham Young when he was a coach there. So I like running the training just like that, where we do stations. You got 2 hours, bam, get it done, move to the next one. So you're not standing around. I could never stand as a student when instructors want to sit there and talk. I know they have a lot of good information, but you see guys, they start to fade out after too much talking. No, let's get on the range and get it done. And
let's get some work down there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I think you do learn more. I believe you do learn more by just getting the action done, making the mistakes, correcting them, and getting it done again. I know some instructors disagree with me, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's how I learn the best. And with that, I try to apply how I learn, and I learn the best, and guys around me on my team learn the best. And honestly, that's how that range of battalion, that's how we learn. It's just you don't we don't put the physical punishment in for messing up like you do when you're with the regiment or with your Marine Corps or with whatever else when you're coming up through the private ranks. So, but yeah, bro, it's great.
I didn't shoot before joining the Marine Corps. Like literally, I didn't shoot. I learned how to shoot in the Marine Corps, and they said they liked that because they could teach me the way that they wanted me to shoot, and that's cool. But over the years, obviously with training and I mean, God bless how many classes and all that. But I think a lot of it comes down to, I think what you said is people have to make the mistakes, and the mistakes. I'm not talking about dire mistakes, but you have to work through your bad habits to fix those, and you can't do that by listening. You guys got to go pull some triggers. You're
right. You don't know what a jerk the trigger is unless you jerk the trigger. You don't know what your flinch is, and you're dropping it to a 7 o'clock or you yank it to the 5 o'clock until you do it, and then somebody can watch you, or even just the advent of cell phones and videos. It's perfect to go with your buddy and video yourself, and you'll see a drop shot, and you'll watch. You'll see that little, as more you practice, you'll see that little nuance that you made a mistake on, and you can fix it. And that's the beauty of, and I think the importance of training too, is as instructors, we think we're going to make somebody a hot Delta Force SEAL Ranger operator shooter in 8 hours. It's not going to happen. But as a trainer, you want to go out there and you want to train people so when they leave the range, they have things they can work on their own, because that's where they're going to improve, is when they're on their own doing the extra stuff. They'll improve a little bit on the range, but give them the tactics, give them the training, give them the drills they can do on their own so that they can improve on it. And that's why we get students that return back over and over and over again. And some of them now I have one guy, I won't tell him his name because I remember we were doing a room clearing and the dude was hopping I thought he was a jumping frog because that's how he learned. He didn't know. And now he's, holy shit, he's in there. He's walking, he's tight, he's moving smooth, and he's
around corners. Oh yeah,
It's pie and great, and he's been through 3 classes, so it's not obviously not me. What he's done though is when he's not in the class, everything that we've learned, he's practicing on his own. And now I'm like, man, holy crap! Last time I saw him in Tulsa, like, wow, dude, I can't believe you're the same guy. Hop along Cassidy day one now that you are now. But that says a lot for him, and it makes me feel good because as an instructor, I really think your job is to put yourself out of a job where you don't need to train people. Everybody's so damn good. Yeah.
Midnight Rains, he's a good friend of mine. He's up in Pennsylvania. He's a chef. He's a chef. He says, thank you both for your service. I've watched a few of Chris's speeches. Very inspirational. My only problem with that is he's cheap as shit. You couldn't give $10. You had to go $9.90. But then again, I know Mia, and she might have like a $10 thing where anything under $10 he doesn't have to tell her about. So maybe that's the reason.
I love the $9.90. I know it has something symbolic, or it's a wife thing. Yeah, so she doesn't see it on the credit card.
Probably a Mia thing. Yeah.
Whatever it is, brother, I back you up. I'll take that 99 cents. It's gonna go to somebody. That's awesome.
Nighthawk says God bless for $20. So yeah, like I said, everything tonight's going to go towards the 14th Hour Foundation. So Clover, do you have anything else you want to bring up?
Seeing it.
There's just some love for Battleline out there. Larry says Battleline has awesome instructors, highly recommended. And I can't remember who that didn't copy it all, but they said, that the Battleline course is way too much fun and incredibly educational, they say.
That's what I like hearing. They're fun. They're fun where you learn anything. Well, yeah, I think you learn. Either you learn when you're having fun, or you learn when there's that pain principle involved. And guess you ain't coming through Ranger and Doc. You're not going through it. I mean, if you want to do that, guys, I'm more than happy to not. I don't think they realize what that's about.
I
think some of the times though, Trey, there are where I will, if I got 5 days, I do think those are good for some people, and they do enjoy that crushing, and honestly good for corporate events. I just taking 5 days to run a course. It's tough, man. So I saw somebody here where they said about, do I read books? Do you want me to answer that, or do you want me to? I don't know.
I want to go into that first. I want to say a shout out to Dia223 DMR, another $5. So about the book thing, I've got to say that I think what he meant, since you're Army, do you read? I think that's what he really wanted to know.
Only Only
picture
TMs and FMs, and that's if
See,
somebody
I just read picture books. I don't read words. I need pictures. So
I can read a range card.
I'll tell you what. We were in 90 spring of 95. We went through SEER over in Mount Fuji, Japan, and we had a detachment of Ranger. Oh, it sucked, dude. It sucked.
All right, it sucked, but you think about it, now you were on Mount Fuji doing. I know seriously, believe me, I get it.
We climbed it. The top two checkpoints were closed, so we could only go so far. But we got a Fuji stick and everything. It was awesome. It was beautiful. But before that, it was just hell. Yeah. But we had an attachment of Rangers. And so we were a little worried because we'd worked with SEALs before, but we hadn't worked with Rangers before. And I was like, oh, the fucking doggies. And we're like, why do we got to work with them?
No, were they real Rangers? Don't tell me they were like for 101st 82nd tab. They were from 75th.
They were 75th.
All right, guys.
Yeah. So they were real. They were the real deal. And so we were like, oh, it is what it is. They kept their mouths shut, their heads down. They busted their ass. They understood that they were coming to our school, and they tried to do it our way. And I left, and I've told Clover, I've told other people this. From that point on, the Rangers were good to go in my book. They just worked their tails off. They tried to do that. And when we got done, they invited us to come through Ranger School down at Benning. I had transported back to the States before, but my unit at the time did go. I just didn't get to go with them. I would have loved to go to Ranger School, but yeah. So do you read books? And if so, what are some of your favorites?
I used to. I don't a whole bunch anymore. Honestly, after writing the few, it's kind of took my taste out of reading books. I the runs I've written have been great, but it kind of kills you when you want to, I don't want to read. But when I used to read a bunch of books, and this is what made me get in the military, was I love reading the old Vietnam Charlie Ranger books. If you haven't read the old Vietnam Lerp Ranger books, I would highly, highly recommend, especially if you like military history. And they're written, I can't remember the author, but they're called Charlie Rangers. And there's a series of them, and it's about the Lerp, the hunter killer teams out there. I love those books. I still have them in my top boxes.
Real deal back then, man. Those guys.
Oh man,
holy hell!
And it puts things in perspective. Even that evening, even that night in Benghazi, and I hate referring back to it because it's so much other stuff beside that. But referring back to just that, there was a couple hours there between 3 and 5 a.m. after that second attack. It was like, dude, they're never coming. These fuckers, they've left us, and you do have that feeling of, okay, you can. I mean, that feeling of we're fucked is right there. Yeah. And you either go down that path or you can, no. And I did. I thought back to the Rangers before me. I thought back to those Vietnam guys. I thought back to the guys, because you got to know the history. It's like Marines, Rangers, you got to know the history. Thought back to Just Cause, when they jumped on the airfield in Rigahado. You thought back to Somalia, and you're like, damn, those guys, especially those Charlie Rangers guys that were left alone for a week in situations worse than I'm in. I'm like, holy shit, those Vietnam Rangers did. I can go another hour, man. I can push through this. I mean, this is nothing. I got Snickers bars. I got water. I got a parapet that I've got some cover on. I got an elevated position. I'm good to go. And it really did bring things home, and it made me just toughen up and not be a big pussy, as I'm thinking, what are we going to do? Well, you're just going to keep fighting until you can't fight anymore. And you'll figure it out. You'll figure out what needs to happen. And I will always recommend those kind of books. And then I do like graphic novels. I ain't gonna lie. Guys, graphic novels are the fancy way of saying I like comic books. All right, so I do read comic books. So
I've never read a comic book. Clover, big comic. You guys would probably get along great.
No way.
I've never read one ever, but he's big into Marvel and all that stuff. Yeah.
Dude, the graphic, I got into them with Clover. I got started getting into them heavy. I read comic books growing up, but the actual graphic novels when I read The Watchmen. Like, oh my gosh, how have I not been paying attention to this? And then the Dark Knight series, all the Batman series ones. And I did read Infinity War and all that before the movie came out. It changed a bit, but the graphic novels, the big ones, especially stuff like The Watchmen, and then the Dark Knight series, where you've got the very, very the human element. I like reading those. They're entertaining, and I do like the color.
Was a Dark Knight series as dark I mean, the movies do a good job portraying the darkness, a really dark side of Batman. You know,
the newer one, like when Heath Ledger started with the Christian Bale ones. Yeah, definitely.
Right.
The old ones, no, that's the campy stuff, but that's what they based it off of. And no, they got it right. So Clover, I'm a big graphic novel guy, and like I said, but it all started with The Watchmen, which I think is still the best graphic novel ever written. But
I've gotten in recently. Jonathan Mayberry is a really good author that I kind of got into there for a while too. Kind of transitioned from the comic book and superhero side into more of the special ops type and zombie apocalypse stuff. And he does a really good with that. He's got a series. Joe Ledger is the special operative. Yeah. Great series of books. Awesome. And then he's got one also that deals with post-apocalyptic zombie stuff, which is Rotten Ruin is that series. Both great ones, great reads.
Yeah, and they do. They've got a lot of there's a lot of good guy, bad guy stuff going on. It's tremendous. They're not just comic books, man. They're good reads, and the color pictures when there are, that does help. I gotta admit, I do like the color pictures. It keeps you interested. But that's really it on the books, and I'm not planning on writing another book either, just because I don't know. But you never say never. Who knows?
Well, a movie is never as good as your imagination. That's one thing I've always found. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Bud's out there taking a shot at the Marine Corps, saying that coloring books are a waste of food. You know, that's
the crayons, isn't it? That's the crayons, isn't it?
The crayon thing wasn't around when I was in. That's post 9/11 stuff. So I don't know, but I go with it, and I think it's hilarious. And so I told people all the time, if you're going to be creative. This is no shit. So a friend of the channel, one of our viewers and all of that supporters sent this to me. But check this out. He put music from Marine Corps hymn. You've got taps in here. Semper Fidelis. He's put music to this. So I said, now the bar is
so cool.
You better bring it big, because that's badass.
That is. Oh my, that's cool as hell.
So
that's awesome.
That's what it is. So the question out there, Guitar Man Pete wants to know if you've read Eric Haney's book about Inside Delta Force. Does that ring a bell to you?
Was that with Charlie Beckwith that wrote it?
He says it says Eric Haney. I don't know who. I haven't heard of that, but it's called Inside Delta.
Oh, Eric Haney wrote it. Eric Haney. Yeah. Actually, yes, I did. Long time ago. That was I read it when it came out. I want to say 2006, something like that. And I'm not a unit guy. Don't claim to be. It's just not the path that I chose to go on. But actually, I did read it. It was great. No, and that was in the genre though, like with Charlie Ranger's book, where you're reading. It's like reading 13 hours or reading, The Outpost with which I know, was it called The Outpost? I know it wasn't the new movie, but it was based off the book that was written about The Outpost. Those the good military history books that has the feeling, that has the emotion in it, that has the carnage, but it has also overcoming and winning even through all that adversity. Those are awesome. And that one, Inside Delta Force, was fantastic because it did that. But then it also tells you this is if you want to go in for the young guys, read them, dude. Read everything you can so you can decide what you want to do. That's where you're getting the first information from the guys that already did it. So, yeah, I did. Actually, I did read Eric Haney's book. I got it somewhere in one of my book tough boxes around here somewhere. I do remember reading that.
So it was about, I don't know, Clover, was about a month or so ago. It was about a month or so. We had Mike Glover. He was a unit guy. I don't know if you know Mike or not. But Glover
I don't know, but I know the name. Yep.
Yeah, he was, I think, a sergeant major. He was with the unit. For the people out there that don't understand the difference between the unit and the Rangers, can you just give a basic general idea of what the difference is for people that might not understand?
Well, the unit Delta's top tier. They're the top tier.
They draw from the Marines. They draw
from everybody. I would say being from Ranger Battalion, though, I do think they do grab. If you want to do a numbers, I bet if we did an assessment, I knew when I was in, maybe it's changed, but when I was in, that was a pipeline. I mean, if you really wanted to be ready for Delta, you went to Ranger Battalion because they're going to grab, because that's the kind of guys, that mindset that they wanted, and that's a lot of their older Delta guys. That's where they were. That's where they were from Ranger Battalion. And now that being said, yeah, there's guys from 82nd. There's Marines that were in Delta. There are guys that were in the Navy, SEALs that have switched over. A lot of times that doesn't happen too much, but it does. But that unit is your counterterrorism unit. That's your high value target. That's your surgical operations. And I don't really get into tiers anymore, because now the tier 1 tier, it's been so muddy, because Rangers do tier 1.
For the longest time, what people considered the actual tier 1 were 2. It was unit and DevGru.
Blue. Yep. And blue. Blue, TF blue, whatever. I don't know how to say that.
Was it red or gold? Also, I don't.
Reds, green. I would say green's the unit, blue's the. I can say that. Everybody fucking.
Blue. You have blue, red, green. Brown. Anyways, brown. Yeah.
Brown.
There were 2. I mean, when you talk about the tip of the spear, at one point it was unit and DevGru. So I mean, that's just kind of. But now, like you said, there's all this stuff going on, and even now with the contractors going on, and I was going to bring that next thing is the difference between the training. Obviously, the lifestyle is different, but the training side, when you were with Rangers versus CIA, were y'all training as much? Were y'all do y'all do workups in CIA stuff?
You do before you. Should I say that? Hey, we got to do a workup. No, because you don't know what that op's going to be. It's not a specific op. I mean, your bread and butter is really your bread and butter. You're doing low profile protection, and you're doing surveillance. You are. And really, do you need a workup for that? Not necessarily, but what you do have to know, and this is where the learning curve and where guys either get it or don't. You've got to learn cities like that. You've got to know a city better than a local within 5 days. I mean, really, that's it. You got to get out in the city. You got to know the back alleys, because you got to be able to move and get away. And really, your job is get the hell out of there. Your job is not direct action. It's not. And that's why I tell you guys, we're not direct action. You're on your own. We're on our own. This is it. And we got to get away.
How much of your time was doing like FID stuff? I mean,
it depended on the country. Afghanistan quite a bit, but then they had separate contracts that wasn't applied just to GRS. And you would go work actually a specific training contract for another company. And I did a lot of those too for various U.S. companies in the States. I'd go overseas, and that's all I would do was do train Afghani forces. And Iraqis, really though, I think that was left mainly to the Army guys. There really wasn't a ton of that. Afghanistan is where the agency was real, at least when I was in, where the agency was being used, or contractors with an agency clearance were being used to do those FID missions. That was a problem in Libya that would have helped us. And that was an issue that we had, is that we had local forces. We never worked with them, which I felt was odd. We had them on our bases. Whenever you had a local force on your base, you worked and you trained them, not because you just needed to get them better. You got to develop that rapport. That's part of the biggest thing, is developing that trust with the local. That never happened. And when I asked, like, hey, we need to start doing this, it was always rebuffed by our base chief or our staff team leader. And I just thought that was odd for that place, because that was the only place that it really ever happened. If Iraq, if you're in Kurdistan, we worked with the locals up in because Peshawar are awesome. Fucking Peshawar are incredible. But that was just an odd place where, and I just think it led to a lot more. That's why those guys did him out, and when the first shots were fired, not even before the shots were even fired, they're like gone. And I would put dollars to donuts that some of them took a gun and came back the other way at our compound. I can't prove that. But we had no rapport. I would take a Snickers to a local guard, just see if I could just see what he was like in the morning, and just try to develop some sort of relationship or rapport with them. But but Afghanistan, no, bro, on your FID, we did a lot of that there, and that was fun. I had one guy that scratched his head with a marker off with the barrel I was like, it's like stop. Just the comical shit you'd see on deployments. It's like, stop! No, what are you doing?
I don't imagine. My best friend from the Corps, when he got out, he went Blackwater right out, and this is prior to Blackwater being this is
being all this shit show they are. This is Blackwater. Yeah, I
This is
started Blackwater in 2003.
pre 9/11. They were still doing some crazy shit. And then he kind of started seeing that working interesting, went with the agency for a while and ended up with FBI. And then he worked for UN. So he went through the whole gamut of it all. For someone out there, I'm going to bring Clover here in just a second. I want to bring this up though, but for someone out there, we get a lot of people that are younger that are asking all the time about different branches. I get questions all the time. I want to go join the Marine Corps and be recon. What do I need to do? And understand that, when you start talking about being upper echelon, whatever branch it is, you got to be intelligent. You have to be proud of being intelligent. You can't be, it sounds bad. Even Marines but you have to be intelligent. But for someone out there that's looking to maybe go 75th and be a Ranger and all that, for someone who's in high school that might be thinking, what's the best piece of advice that you could give that young man or woman and say, hey, if you want to do this, this is what you need to do?
Well, first of all, like we talked about the books, you got to read up. Is it a passion? When you read those books, when you read those stories, does it burn a fire? Do you have a fire that's burning inside you, which is that passion? You got to have that passion. You know good as I do, you can have the most physical assets in the world, be the toughest mother effer in the world. If your brain doesn't want to be there, your body's going to quit. It's going to stop. Doesn't make a difference who you are. I've seen guys that are just that physically shouldn't make it, and they do because they want to be there. So first of all, you have to have that passion to want to be whatever you decide you want to be, whether it's going through buds, whether it's becoming a raider, whether it's going in a range battalion. You have to have that. Second of all, what I would say, physically preparing yourself. We get all this CrossFit stuff. And it's good. Once you get there, you got to learn how to do all that cross training, all that kettlebells and all that. A test for me to know if a guy mentally has it is run. Running is the hardest things to do. It's the biggest mental mind game in the world. And you have to get out there and put miles in. If you can't run 2 miles, and don't worry about the time right now, just if you can't run 2 miles straight, you want to work on that because it's a mental game. You have to be able to play that and just do your regular stuff, push-up, sit-ups, get a good workout in, start making that a habit. So that's a habitual move. So you are habitually doing workouts and it becomes part of your lifestyle. That's why I run every day. It's not because I got to stay set. I don't, it's a religion now. Physical fitness is a religion. That's based off of going to range battalion. It's got to be implemented into that. And then once you start doing it, and don't take no from an answer from a recruiter. If you want that option 40, don't let them tell you it's not available. You go find another recruiter. Don't let them pull that bullshit on you. Or if you want to be a raider, or if you want to get the SEAL challenge, they're going to try to fit you in where they need a spot, where they're low on people. If you don't get the answer,
look over here at Combat Arms.
Yeah.
And, Combat Arms means you're a fucking grunt, okay?
and that's the thing. You have to be able to stick to your guns. I know people are chomping at the bit, and they will take an airborne contract. And there's good guys at 82nd, but that's not where they want to be, and they'll get stuck there for their whole time because their commander won't sign off to let them go to Ranger Battalion where they want to be. So do that, and then once you get there, just push through, grind through, just embrace the suck. We all have that verbiage in whatever military branch you're in. When it sucks, just enjoy it.
I think everybody has embraced the suck. I mean, really. The biggest question I get is about boot camp. We have boot camp. We go straight into combat training, and it's 4.5 months of just living hell. Yeah. But I tell you all the time, I said, for me, the physical side of boot camp was a breeze. It was easy. I was an athlete. I was already in decent shape. For me, it was the mental side, and not because I wasn't mentally strong. I'm a complete smartass, and I just told myself, keep your mouth shut. Just keep your head down, work your ass off, and get out of this thing alive. Mentally you get out there and say, look, they're going to push you. Their job is to break you and build you into a team guy. Okay. That's their job. Take you from individual to a team guy. They're not going to kill you. They're not going to kill physically. They're not going to kill you. So if you go into that mental side saying they're going to torture me, they're going to do a lot of stuff, but they're not going to kill me, dude, 3 months, get through it and you're golden. And then you take the next step, and whatever the next step is, hey, this is 3 more months. You get through it, and the next step and all of that. So I love what you said about being physically fit. And I'll say this. if you're not the kind of person that likes to wake up in the morning early, start waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning a month ahead of time, because I promise you, 4 o'clock in the morning is nothing. Okay. If you got to like sleep into 9 o'clock, you're going to disappear pretty quickly. Just saying.
Bro, I completely agree with you. It's a mind game. It's all a mindset. Do you want to be there or not? And my biggest thing when embracing the suck and my goofiness that people have seen in whether they've watched the certain, they're like, is that you? Like, yeah. And honestly, most Rangers are like that. We're goofy as hell. And when things get worse, we get goofier. That's just how we get through it. And our Ranger instructors hated guys from Ranger Battalion going through, because they could do anything to us, and it was always, yeah, all right, bring in more, yeah, fuck yeah, you can't smoke. You know, it was pushing it farther. I remember all the IOBC guys, all the infantry officers guys that were coming through, like, just shut up. They're gonna like, dude, they're gonna keep doing it regardless. So let's have some fun with it. It doesn't make a difference what we do. We're gonna get punished because that's part of the job of weeding us out. So enjoy it. And that's why I tell guys, just enjoy it. Have fun with it. Make it. Shut your mouth when you need to shut it. Don't be an idiot and talk out of line. But when it's time to have fun on the physical stuff, have a good time with it. Because it's you can be miserable and suck and just be in pain, or you can be happy and be in pain. And there is a way to do that. And then eventually it just becomes a habit. This is terrible. This is awesome. Let's just make fun of it and just keep going.
So speaking of making fun, Budget's making fun of me. You know, I'm vertically challenged. So it is what it is. Yeah, the obstacle course was easy. I just low crawled through everything, you know. It's all good. The interesting thing is for me is like I said, we work with SEALs when I was doing some stuff. Worked with Rangers through SEER, and you're right. The SEER guys, the Ranger guys, they were a little more happy-go-lucky. I would say this about the SEALs. The SEALs were very chill. And I don't know if that's all of them, but everyone that I've been around, it's just like a chill thing. And I don't know if that's what they want them to be or what, you know?
You know, when I was in the service,
we're crazy. We're the ones that get in trouble all the time. So the Army guys are having fun. The SEALs, we get blamed for all the mischief that happens.
When I worked with SEALs as a contractor, I think it's just that how unless they're around each other, or once you become a contractor, you're working with each. I think it is. It's like, hey, it's a group thing. It is. I think with them, but it's hard for me to speak unless the SEAL could give you a better answer than I could. But my outside looking in mentality was, it's their group. You're not in it. You're not in their club, so they're going to be chill around you until you leave, and then just fine. I'm cool. Rangers kind of the same way. We're more, hey, come on in. Let's joke around, but once they get to know you, and I learned this as a contractor because you have Marines and SEALs and Rangers. Of course, even in Benghazi, a perfect example. You got everybody working at the same. You're living together. Once you're in, and your partner, they're not still trying to vet you. Make sure that it's fine. Everybody gets along fine. And then you can just poke fun of each other, and they'll poke fun back at me, and me and Jack, we still do it. Jack Silva and I still. We talk. I say we talk every couple months, but it's still fun. Hey, what's up, you ugly piece of shit? See what are you doing? And he's like, yeah, what's up, dumbass? You still got to hide and tie hair. Make fun of the old hair ranger. But I do think, brother, they want to vet you to make sure that you're okay to be in their cool guy club, which is fine.
I think that's what it is. And a lot of it comes down to anything. I think that we're going to give each other shit. I'm going to call. Call them squids, call you guys doggies, call the chair guys fly boys. You're going to call us jar heads. You're going to call it whatever. But the cool thing about it is when you're around a group of guys, no one from the outside better say a damn thing. You know? One on your ass. So that's always the fun thing. So
making fun. I want to tell all the guys out making fun of guys and not. I'd go to hell, and I'd say I'll go any SEAL or Marine out there. Let's go. You're with the grunt. You don't have to be. You're a grunt. You're a Marine. Yeah, okay, let's get it. Get your gun. Let's go. So all the fun and games stop when it's time for business. And the majority of the guys that I work with, 90% of them were like that. Yeah, we may not always get along, but inter services, it didn't make a difference. You're right. The small unit tactics were always the same. It's always the same. And
you should be able to plug out and say, hey, hey, we got a 4-man fire team and we have, 2 Marines, a dog, and a squid. I promise you, we're going to run that shit. Not a problem, you know.
And it's easy. You need to talk to each other about it. And Benghazi, that was, I know I'm mentioning it a bunch now. I didn't want to, but thinking back, it really was. We didn't have to talk a whole bunch, and it was. And it's not like we worked together forever. That team had been there for 30 days together as all. And it was like, man, we'd worked together for years. It was amazing.
Once you know small team tactics, you know fields of fire, you know movements. You know, once again, you might have different the footwork might be a little different
maybe.
From the branch, but it's the same. So Buck out there says, y'all leave Ghost alone. He has to use a ladder to shoot through the top pole of the barricade. Here's my thing. I have to fucking rappel from my truck every day, but it is fun. It is fun. Rappelling from the truck is fun.
Oh my Lord. Dude, you got some awesome fans. I love these guys. These dudes are hilarious. That's awesome.
We got another $5 from A&A. Hello, Ghost, and Chris is here.
Oh, dude, thanks, man.
Thank you. So, yeah. Clover, what you got? You got any questions for Chris?
I'm still here. I'm trying to Google search all these acronyms and initials. And shit.
I did not mean
I'm lost, dude. I'm lost.
I see like a KTP swag question because I'm seeing these things here too that pop up.
Yeah, I think Jeremy out there answered that. But yeah, is there swag coming? I like this shirt.
Actually, this is one of the new ones coming up. But yeah, the beauty of multi repping things and having that athletic background just like you do, which is tremendous, is that they like athletic gear. A group called Thaddy out of Knoxville, great group of people. It's got talent out there, and myself and Nate Boyer, the Nate Boyer SF guy, great guy. Him and I both work with Thaddy, and this is one of the new pieces, and there's a couple other ones coming out, and they make great women's stuff. Fits my wife. She's extremely athletic, and so just at Thaddy website, THADDEA, and check out their site. It should be coming out here in the next couple weeks. This is the original version. I just wanted to make sure it was okay, and I gave him the thumbs up, so it's just starting coming out.
It's good.
I'm
what
sexy.
else?
Do I look sexy in it though? I am. That was some uncomfortable silence there where I was feeling really sexy.
I'd fuck you, but that's just what it is.
Yeah, okay, come on. One of your fans has got to say something, man. Somebody say something. It's an awkward time of the show, man.
Moving on.
I'm not red because I'm embarrassed. I'm red because I'm excited and turned on. Just to let you know.
Gosh, how do you get past that?
No, I know. What do you follow with that, man?
Please try. Yeah.
You were talking earlier, Chris, about growing up playing sports and your dad being into sports, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
As far as your firearms experience before your military service, what was that like?
I learned how to shoot on my grandpa's farm. I mean, I could just, it wasn't any training. It just, growing up having a BB gun and going out and shooting rabbits, and then I lived in Alamosa, Colorado, out in the country. So it was like going out and trying to shoot rabbits with a pellet gun, and then shooting birds, and so I enjoy shooting as a youngster. I didn't have any training until I went in the service. I mean, I did some hunter safety just because my dad wanted me to do it. And he wouldn't let me have a 22 till I did it. But even when I had that, it was never any formal, or even hunting, like formal hunting, going out on a deer hunt or pheasant hunt. It just was, here's your gun, go out and walk the cornfields, and I'd shoot whatever I saw.
Right.
And but my dad, I think that's important. My dad and my grandpa Joaquin, were very adamant, like, you're out there on, because I go out by myself, and they're like, well, like a dad should, don't shoot yourself, shoot your eye out, kid. So they did make me do the hunter safety, which I think was important to get that, and before I could get a bigger gun than a BB gun. But all this stuff came on after I got in the service. But that athletic training, it did help immensely. Just the coordination you get from doing sports all your life, that coordination, because I do think tactics and shooting, it is athletic, man. I don't know how it's not an athletic event to go to a range. That's why they have the tactical games now. Somebody finally capitalized on that. So it did help, man.
I've got to go. I've got to get there one time. It looks fun as hell to watch. I'd love to go there.
I'm too old. I did my tactical games. It was called Ranger Battalion. I'm good.
No,
It's fine. I like it.
I want to watch them. I'm not doing it.
I'll be good watch my job, but no, you guys
my knees are shot. I can't do that, but I want to go watch it.
I think it's so great that they have it, because there are guys that come back that's their therapy. So it's awesome to have it. Tig does it. And he swears by it, and I think he does a great job in it. And it's good for him. And it's good for guys that need that little bit of adrenaline rush still. And so yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm okay. Physically, let me do my own thing physically, but I think it's still a great idea to have it out there. I think it's probably saved a lot of guys' lives coming back and not going down that rabbit hole. Gives them an outlet. So it's tremendous. Yeah, good. It was a good idea. I wish I would have thought of it. Dumbass.
Kidding, right? Yeah. Book out there wants to know, do you do any long range shooting?
Not really. I stay within 300 meters. I do have a 28 Nosler that I shoot every once in a while. I got a 300 Win Mag. Vortex, I love. They're a tremendous sponsor for Battleline. We've got some great sponsors. Vortex is one of them. So I've got some awesome glass. I think it's the best glass out there. And honestly, with their new UH that just came out, I think it's the best red dot out there. I'm switching it out from all the EOTechs I had and putting on those UH1s from Vortex. So I have the capability, but do I do it enough? No. I enjoy the close stuff. I enjoy doing the reflexive fires. I enjoy doing the moving and walking and shooting at targets. I do enjoy that more than getting in the prone and just long range shooting. But no, it's fun sometimes to do that too. It's just a preference. I'm the one guy that you'll meet that may have done some stuff overseas that has never been a sniper. Everybody out there is gun loving grandpa. They'll tell you too. Every one of them. Every one of them.
So this is what it gets me. You talk to everyone. So 1% of all military guys are SF guys, but online, 99%. Yeah.
It is what it is. But long range shooting, yeah, guys that do it and they're good at it. Oh man, it's amazing. And that's another thing about being smart. People don't realize you got to be good at math, man. You better be good at math.
No, math's always been my good subject. You do math like that. That's one thing I could do.
No, I'm terrible. No, I suck. I'm not even going to say I'm good at math. I can't lie. I'm terrible at it.
I think we're all different. I think we're all different, and so that's reflected in, the type of shooting that calms us down or that we enjoy. Yeah. For those that are really active, I mean, the run and gun, that takes their mind off things. I mean, for me, it's always been that precision and not necessarily long range, but there's something about, being still, regulating your breathing, your heart rate, all of that stuff that's just calming for me.
And I think that's with a lot of guys that do it. I agree. I guess I've never let go of my OCD, and I need to start getting on Ritalin again because I got to be moving all the time and shooting. It's hard. It's hard for me to stay there.
I get it.
3 shots. Shit, I can't even sit there and zero for long enough. Like, Jesus, this sucks. All right, I'm close enough. Let's just start shooting.
So Clover knows I'm not a precision. Right. I'm a silhouette guy. I'm gonna get the fucker down on the ground guy. And I think a lot is because I don't have the patience to sit there and be a precision guy. I get the silhouette. If I get here, I'm good. I want to get that threat down. I don't care if everything's in one hole. That's not me. That's not my guy. I'm kind of like you are. I'm an inside 300-yard guys. I love the tactics. Clover is not a tactical dude. He likes the precision side of things. I like the run and gun stuff. I enjoy it. Kind of, I don't know how to put this. It keeps my mind sharp. I guess a little bit.
It's therapeutic. It does. It gets you down to what you want to do. It's a passion that you have, but you got to have both, man. To be a successful unit, you got to have those guys that are those precision, those force multipliers, and then you got to have the ones that are down there door kicking stuff in. I mean, and I agree with Clover, man. He's spot on. The guys that do like doing the long range stuff, it's what calms them down, where the running and being out of breath or moving and shooting and being able to walk and shoot bubble gum and pat your stomach and everything at the same time. That's really at the end of it. I'm like, it calms me down. Even though you think, oh, you're all spun up. No, actually, I just feel good. I'm all relaxed now.
And they all work together. I mean, if you're a door kicker, a pipe puncher, whatever terminology you want to use, but if you're a door kicker, it's nice to have Overwatch. It's nice to know up there. You know, I couldn't do it. I couldn't sit there for 10 days without fucking moving, waiting for my target package to be where I need to be. But there are dudes up there that are really, really good. And it's nice to have Overwatch every time you know you're out there. Hey,
always nice to have.
Back. We had a guy who was I'm a decent shot. I will never say I'm a great shot, but our sniper was, I mean, when you there's a distinct difference. I mean, those dudes are the real deal when they're able to peg it. They're able to look 1,000-yard target, make it look like 100-yard target zeroed in. It's just unbelievable. Those are the real deal.
That's it. It's whatever you're passionate about. It goes back to the guys that want to go in. It really full circle. We're talking about it's your passion. What is your passion? If it's not passionate to you, I don't care how good you are at it. If it's not a passion that you want to do, you will always be B plus. You'll never be that A plus. It's got to be a passion that you have, and that's when you move to that next level. That's when skills be damned. You work and you get to that A plus level because that's where you want to be. Because you have that fire in your belly. That's what it is.
Gito Ram Pete wants to know, do you have any advice for the mindset of civilians? And I talk a lot about on my videos and my podcast about being that everyday warrior, and I use the word warrior. So I think he's going to want to talk about that. Do you have any advice for the mindset of civilians concerning everyday security in the U.S.?
Just situational awareness. Get out your cell phone. There's too many. And that's an easy one. We go through that a lot during the Battleline courses. It's just being aware of your surroundings. Get your head out of that cell phone every once in a while. You know, when you kneel down, when you have to bend down, don't bend over unless you physically just can't kneel because your knees are shot. Bend down and pick stuff up. Keep your eyes up every once in a while. I do that to myself. I'll be in my cell phone walking in the Target parking lot, and I'm like, but in my head, I'll get your head up, and I'll pick my head up and look. And that's situational awareness. That is the biggest mindset that keeps you protected, I think, out there in civilian, because the bad guys, and it's been said forever, and it's never changed. They want an easy target. Back from the caveman days, they want an easy target. And if you are not an easy target, they're going to pick somebody else. Also, if you are going to carry, you need to just getting your CCW doesn't mean that you're going to be able to manage what you need to if you have to use that gun. And you've seen how today is with, even some law enforcement out there. Even if you're in the right, you're going to get charged. They're going to grab you. And you're gonna have to be responsible. It sucks because, damn it, you're gonna be in the right, but guess what? You're immediately gonna be judged of being in the wrong. So if you don't have a good training mindset, a good mind with that gun, you've not been through we'll go through some shooting courses. You just go and get your CCW and carrying it, man. God forbid you shoot and you miss and you hit somebody down the street. Guess where you're going. Doesn't matter if you're in the right or not. You're manslaughter. You're going to prison. So you need to be able to utilize that gun, and that not just from the training. The training develops the confidence. So if you ever have to use it, you're confident enough to use it, and you will do the right thing, and you'll make the good decisions where you won't go into the Colonel Cooper's color codes and go in the black because you're undertrained, you lack the confidence, and you just shut down, or you go massively to the red and you just start shooting things. That's where it comes in. The training is good. The tactical and the physical movements, but that training develops that confidence where you're able to still think and maintain that situational awareness. But first things first, situational awareness. Get your head out of that cell phone. Look around every once in a while. Look to see what you're in. Look at exits if you're in a restaurant. Where do I need to go? It's not paranoia. It's just being prepared. And that's the biggest thing.
It's something as simple, like I said. Yeah, it's weird, but I'll make sure that I'm in a restaurant. I'm going to be facing that front door. I want to know where the exits are, and it's just something I naturally usually do. And some people say, "Oh, that's kind of weird." I don't know. Maybe it is weird, but when I'm the one saving your ass, and the times that you'll be thanking me instead of calling me a weirdo, but it is what it is.
And that's right. It's always better be prepared. It's just better be prepared, man.
That's right. So we got a few minutes left, and I'm going to bring Clover here in a minute, but we like to do a little rapid fire questions. So there were fun little questions and all that. So what was the first gun that you ever bought? Not was given to you, but you were old enough. What's the first gun you ever bought?
The first gun I ever bought, was it a pistol or my rifle? That's close. Let's do the first pistol I ever bought was a Glock 17 Gen 1. Gen 1 Glock 17. It was when I was a freshman in college. I think that's when it was. And I still have it. It's a Glock 22, not a 17 because it's a 40 cal. So it was not, and it was a Gen 1, still have it. My first rifle, actually that first rifle was the hey, my battery's running low. Crap.
It's all good. All right. So we'll do this. So what I wanted to, before you go out, tell where people they can find you and all that. And thanks for coming on, bro.
No, I'm sorry. I'll go get my plug, dude. Can you wait?
That's up to you. It's up to you, man.
Hold on. I'll be right back. You can see me in my sexy shorts too. My Ranger pants.
Ranger panties. So we're gonna keep going for a little bit.
We get a little intermission. Talking about where you sit in a restaurant and things like that. My wife, I don't know if my wife's out there listening or not, but I'm going to tell them myself a little bit. We always sit on the same side of a booth, right? Always try to get a booth if we can and sit on the same side. And part of that is because I don't like the idea of sitting across from her. That just seems weird, and most couples do that, right?
My wife and I sit across from each other. Yeah.
That's weird. That's weird to me because to me, having her beside me allows me to communicate with her a little better, I think. And then also in the situation that I could shield her if I needed to. Right.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So it's just something that, in her mind, and there is a component to that when we sit next to each other in a booth, we're closer to each other. And yes, that's part of it. Right. But to me, there's a little bit of tactic to it as well. Yeah. Okay, we'll fill the gap now. So let's go.
Fill the gap. So Glock 22 is
try to do that. Gotcha.
So what was
the pistol was 22
rifle now?
Rifle, actually, that was people have seen it. It was that Frankenstein Bushmaster. I bought a Bushmaster, just a $500 AR Bushmaster. And people asked me about it. It was the one I had on the ballistic magazine. I built out, I tricked out, and actually I just had to keep rebuilding it because pieces started to break. But it's the one I went through all my CIA vetting courses with that thing. I've still got it a lot. It's retired now. I put it to the side. I don't use it anymore because I don't want it to break. It was. I bought it when Cabela's first started. It was Cabela's here in Nebraska, so it was like 1995, and they had just opened. And dude, that thing was awesome. $500. Granted, I put a Maxim Defense AR brace on it. I put one of the Gen 1 brace. So basically the brace is worth more than the gun now, but it still sits there. And it's the buttstock more than the gun, but it was amazing. Yeah, that was, and I still love it. Like I said, it's still sitting over here where all my gun stuff is. And that was 1995. So, I love that thing. So that's what I tell guys. You don't have to go buy a $1,000 gun. Granted, I have some and I have bought $1,000, but sometimes it's just that $500 gun that just go grab it and it's going to work for you forever. It's awesome. Yeah. It's awesome.
I mean, my battle rifle is an M&P 15. This is not the Sport 2. This is the Sport. This is the original M&P Sport. I love this damn thing. I know how it's going to react. I know what it's going to do no matter what. And I know there's better rifles out there, but when shit hits the fan, I've got other stuff in this thing right here that I'll shoot all day long. But when shit hits the fan, that's what I'm grabbing,
Yeah, I agree, man. I still have that Tanto's toolbox So we got 20 of those things left is all. And then we'll go to the next gen with Maxim. But that's actually my home defense weapon. And it's the one I teach with. And it's in my closet. And it's 300 blackout. And no, I love that little thing. But that Bushmaster, it's like an old girlfriend, man. That they just kind of she's just hanging out over there. And she's never gonna leave me. She's gonna be right there. And but I really should shadow box that thing. And which is I'll do eventually because it's awesome. Yeah.
I didn't know you still had that thing. We had a $5 super chat from A&A.
Oh, man. Thank you.
He wants to know, what are your thoughts on concealed carry or CCW insurance? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I read what's a U.S. law. I think it's U.S. Law Shield or U.S.
Yep.
Lush, I would recommend it. Now, nowadays, yeah, you do, because even if you have an attorney, which I don't know, there's not a lot of us out there that have attorneys on retainer, some like that, and it's hard to afford that. Just the lawyer costs, and it doesn't make a difference if you are in the right or not. I mean, look at those people that were on their front lawn when the protesters broke through their gated community, and now they're being charged with brandishing their weapons, protecting. That's the society that we're in. On their own property, they broke through a gated community. Just guys, I would used to say, no, insurance is for suckers. Nowadays, no, just the lawyer fees alone that they will cover. U.S. Law Shield, I think, is and there's other ones out there. That's just the one I'm remembering off the top of my head. Yeah. And actually, that's the one. My CCW expired. I got my new one coming. That's who I am going to go ahead and go with as soon as I get my license that is supposed to be coming in the mail, and I'm doing it. And I even have a lawyer firm that's with my company, and I'm still going to use it because shit, even if you have one,
they're Second Amendment attorneys. These guys specialize in gun cases. That helps a little bit.
So, but I hate to say it, but gosh, because you never want to recommend something like it's hard. It's insurance, but honestly, yeah, I think
I like to call it in case shit. It's in case shit happens.
It's not that expensive.
No, it's not too bad. So your whole life, all of your experiences, all the shit that you've shot, what's the coolest gun you've ever shot?
When they started bringing the little carbines, I love those. And now that they've developed, and I'm not pitching it just because it's mine, I love my little toolbox, man. I mean, with the collapsible buttstock, with the ability just to unscrew, by hand, take the shield, that heat shield off, and unscrew the barrel, and then I can just hand screw back in, and it just drives nails. It's amazing, dude. And that thing is awesome, and and I tricked it. I've got a Spikes Tactical flip up sights, which Spikes are like Cole over there, man. They're awesome. Spike and Cole over there, which make tremendous guns themselves. But just the ability now you can collapse a 300 Blackout or even a 7.62 PDX. They can make them this big, and you can shoot them, and they're good, accurate out to 100 meters. To me, that is amazing. So my toolbox is my favorite. It's replaced my Bushmaster, so I've had to put it aside. I have some PDXs that I think are great. That 28 Nostr. If I was a long range shooter, oh my Lord, that 28 Nostr is amazing. I just don't shoot long range. If I did shoot a ton of it, that would be my favorite, just because it's one of the coolest guns I've ever seen. Yeah. But no, I'm a little shorty guy. I love my little toolbox, and it's been 2,000-3,000 rounds through it, and I've never had an issue with it. And again, it's because you went in the past because you think you could hand tight things. You just unscrew it by hand, screw it up, and that's by far my favorite gun.
I'm a big CQB guy. I like being in tight, and so I love AR pistols and all that. I love 10.5 inch and in or something. Or some of the coolest ones. I just like working that angle. All right, so take NFA out. There's no if in NFA. Costs are you've got a gazillion dollars of costs and ammo costs on. What's the dream gun?
M1 Abrams tank, maybe. I think, does that count?
There you go. Hell yeah!
Holy shit! Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Yeah. Give me that Abrams, man. Put on my. Oh, how awesome would that be? But I have something I can actually carry. Rifles. To me, rifles are your work guns. Rifles are let's get busy. Pistols are your pretty little. Hey, let's look at the cool pistol I have. But they're always those cool pistols are super expensive out there. And that's hard to say because I really have my favorite gun. It costs, and I do that toolbox, the one that I kind of designed. One of the things I wanted to, I couldn't take it down. It's not built for downrange banging it around because it is a home defense. It's a stateside weapon. But the ability, like
home defense is self-defense. If you're having to engage at 300 yards, it's really not a threat, isn't it?
No,
I mean, not unless you're downrange in the sandbox, but I mean,
yeah,
if you're 300 yards out of engaging, you're probably going to prison, dude. You know?
yeah, you probably are. You know, if I had, an all out inexpensive or all out budget where I could buy anything I wanted, what I would go look for is I would look for one of the I look for a 1911. I love 1911s. They're like Cadillacs of pistols. And I would find one, whether it's a Kimber or something. I would go look for a gun that is just the most expensive 1911 I could find, just because they're just so beautiful, man. Maybe General Patton's. Didn't he have a 1911? No, or did he have a?
Yeah,
Did he? I would. If I could go buy like a historic ones like that and get like General Patton, I think that's what I would spend my money on. I wouldn't shoot it. I just frame it here, General Patton. A lot of people thought he was a. Yeah, he was. He even admitted it. He was pretentious. He was an egomaniac.
Sure, he was.
The dude was a brilliant.
You have to be. You have to be. MacArthur, all those guys. You had to be an egomaniac. You know.
But he was still brilliant mind, tactical mind, and he studied this enemy. I mean, it was amazing. That's one I say a lot being in the military, as far as you kind of had to, because I did become an officer later, which was don't do that, guys. Stay enlisted. Stay enlisted. But studying him, out of all of them, yeah, he was arrogant, he was pretentious, but he was always there too. He was always with his guys.
Oh, and he was not going to sit a mission out. He was going to be right there with them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a 5-star at this point. He's a 5-star.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of this shit.
There. You know? The only other guy that I would know that I've read about, or because I don't know them all. I didn't serve with, these guys are way in the past that I admired, would be like a guy like Hal Moore. But if you're talking about guns, General Patton's, if I could buy General Patton's 1911, yeah, that's what I'd spend it on. And as far as guns that I can shoot, I honestly, I've got the ones. Yeah. Because I'm lucky in that way that I can have influence, because I've been with these Maxim Defense or Vortex or Fort Scott Munitions, medieval technology, medieval industries, that I can kind of build the guns how I want. So it's hard for me to, I have my guns that I wanted, and I'm very blessed to be able to do that. Not a lot of people can say they have that ability, and I'm lucky. I'm very lucky, and I thank God that I'm able to do that, because it is a blessing. So yeah.
Clove, what you got some good questions for him?
I put him to sleep, dude. He's sleeping.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here. No, I mean there's a lot of chatter out there, but there's no questions coming in. So
no, do you have any of the rapid fire questions for Chris?
Oh, to me?
Oh yeah, let's keep doing it. Let's go.
Car or pickup truck?
Pickup, definitely.
Easy. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Toyota, Nissan.
People are gonna hate me for this. I like Toyotas, and you know why I like Toyotas? I like Tundras because downrange, the Hajis, the bad guys, the terrorists. I never saw one technical that wasn't a Toyota. I didn't, and and it's not like they did oil changes and shit and those things. Never, I never saw either. I saw Hiluxes, and actually in Libya I saw Tundras, and when I saw that, I came back and I bought a Tundra. I did, but if you're an American, no, Chevy. Chevy's easy. Yeah, Fords look pretty, but damn near, man. I had a Blazer growing up. That thing had so many damn problems that so if you're going to American made, my next foot would definitely be Chevy.
Have you seen the new Bronco that's coming out? It looks bad as hell. Just saying. It looks awesome. It's badass. $2 mandatory carry. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Co-worker got sick. He said, keep fighting. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. I got one for you. We have a chef. And I told about his chef. He gave money earlier. We have fun with this one. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
A hot dog's a hot dog, man.
Thank you.
Damn it. No, I'd say hot dogs. Because it's the bread.
One piece of bread. It's got to be two pieces of bread to be a sandwich.
It's got to be two pieces of bread to be a sandwich. A hot dog is a hot dog.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is Slim Jim a candy?
No, that's jerky, man. That's just cheap man's jerky. That's like the spam of beef jerky right there.
That's right. There you go. Clover, what else you got?
what's your? I mean, Chinese food, Mexican food, Italian. What's your vice?
Oh, my go-to if I want to clean my colon, Mexican food. But if I want to enjoy it, Italian food. And I'm Mexican, so I can say that. So don't call me a racist, you cocksucker. No, I can say that. All right. So no, I love Mexican food is not Mexican food really is my go-to. Oh man, I eat the hell out of some tamales and some enchiladas, but
I hear you.
Italian's close second. Italian's close second. Chinese, not really. I'll eat it, but it's not.
Our buddy Rod at the Gun Clears, is Bud Light really a beer? Hell yes, it's a beer.
Hey, I drink Bud Light. Yeah, if you don't drink Bud Light, then fuck you. That's right.
I drink Bud Light, Shinerbach. I like Shinerbach. When I was a kid, growing up in Texas, we drank Lone Star Light, and basically it was flavored piss. Okay. It was.
Didn't know they made a light
case. Oh, it was fucking disgusting. But it was $6 for a case of beer, so it was the worst. So what we would do is we'd go get. Remember the Keystone Tall Boys? Remember those?
Yes.
We would get a six-pack. We would shotgun a Keystone Tall Boy each. We get a 6-pack. We'd all shotgun one, so that by the time we got to the Lone Star, it tastes like nothing. So it was so bad, so bad.
Hey, I was a little gangster, wannabe gangster growing up. So I drank Old English. Seriously, 40s. I drank $2.40s when I was in college. And sorry, mom and dad, my senior year I did drink a little bit. My senior year, underage, I did. But yeah, I drank. The Keystone was always there. We used to make, what was it called? Some lemonade, and you made it in a tub with Keystone and lemonade and some. Like,
that must not have made it down to Dallas. I need to. That sounds interesting.
It was terrible, dude. That's poor man's. Poor man's
Farm. Did you ever have Strawberry Hill? Everyone had Boone's Farm, didn't they?
Oh yeah. Without doubt.
For that $2, man, that was good stuff. That was like cherry wine.
I can remember the city park had that. You remember the corkscrew slides, right? They probably still got.
Oh
them.
Yeah.
Right. But Boone's Farm, as fast as you can drink it, climb to the top of the corkscrew slide and slide down. You could not get up off the ground after that. It's over.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I never tried that. Holy shit, that's awesome. Yeah, I never tried that.
But we would take either Brass Monkey or Boone's, and we would do shots with them. And if you just take shots after shot after shot, that will fuck you up.
Oh, and don't discount Mad Dog 2020 either, guys.
No! That's puking right there. Yeah,
bro. Mad Dog, Brass Monkey wasn't the greatest in the world, but.
So I've got another good one for Chris. Since we talked comic book stuff earlier, because this is an age-old debate: Marvel or DC?
Ooh, DC Comics, Marvel movies. They're just made. Marvel movies are better. DC Comics, though, no. DC Comics are Batman. No, and that's just, and honestly, really, that is because of the Batman and the Dark Knight series, man. That catapulted them past Marvel. Not that Marvel isn't good, but man, you can't get the feel. There's just a different feel those Dark Knight DC Comics. But overall, yeah, DC Comics, but movies, no. Marvel's got the.
Well, even with Superman in the Marvel in the DC Comics got dark. DC. Yeah.
Really? They did.
Yeah, the death of Superman, and all that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those are good. Those are excellent. The movie they're not bad. The movie, I don't think they're as bad as people say. But yeah, the Marvel movies, they're just better. They are. They do a good job representing the comic books. I think the movies do, but comic books per se, yeah, DC, especially the death of Superman and Doomsday and all that. That's awesome, man. No, I'm with you on DC.
Like when either a DC or a Marvel movie comes out, I go to the movies and I judge on. I've never read the comic book, so I don't know what's in the comic book. I go to the movies and I judge them on, do I like the movie? And I'll get home and Clover and I will talk on the phone, and there are movies he's pissed. I'm like, what's wrong? He goes, this is bullshit, And I was like, I thought it was a great movie. No, but it was they fucked it up from the comics, or there's different things. But I don't know that, so I don't know what goes into the movie. So judge it on the movie. But he's like, there's so much messed up about that, or whatever,
But and just so you know, Silver Surfer played a big role in the Infinity War that you don't see Silver Surfer in the movies. that's kind of like, God dang, I wish I would have put him in there.
Well, that's
But
because he was a Sony property.
yeah, that's how you get. But
Yeah.
they didn't do too bad of a job.
They spent their budget getting Spider-Man from Sony for that, so they could afford to get Silver Surfer too.
I think Disney has enough. They can afford to,
Yeah, they probably could.
Definitely.
But they didn't want to put your T-shirt in 13 hours, so fuck them, right?
God, yeah, whatever. I don't even care. They can do what they want.
All right. Well, like I said, we've been going on for it's been a long time. I didn't realize it's been going this long. Once again, thanks for coming on, Chris. I really appreciate it. Kind of tell people website. I want to throw links out there while you're talking, but tell them,
sure.
Pump out your stuff, your sponsors, whatever you want to get out there.
Oh, sure.
Well,
like I said, guns, we have great sponsors that sponsor Battleline. I mentioned a few. I'll mention them again. As far as scopes go, and these companies always vet the people within the companies. Tremendous integrity with these companies. Maximum Defense, I've been with since Mike really started. I started with them when all they were making is the butt stocks for ARs, and now they're making everything to AR, to the complete AR platform. And Maximum Defense is fantastic. Vortex Optics, I wouldn't switch to anybody else. Fort Scott Munitions, as far as ammo goes, gosh, man, that tumble on impact is unbelievable. That's going to stop. I mean, just amazing stuff. That's what you want, home defense. You want it to stop and do the job right then. But then Medieval Industries, who's been with me for this year and making great accessories for it, especially their foreign grip, which I still am a foreign grip guy. Yeah, I can go over the top. I like the peak grips, the angle grips every once in a while, but I still like the foregrips because that's kind of what I grew up on when I was with the agency, because the SEAL teams that's what they were. We were pulling a lot of that high ready stuff, and I still like it. So, but they also make a good tripod platform, and it's better than any bipod platform I've ever had. So Medieval Industries, and then you got Thadia with KTP, and then really just everything else. I know I'm forgetting a few, and I'm sorry. Hero Soap and Patch Ops, great people, and Everyday Grind Coffee, all these. Which, again, just a blessing for me. Just like, oh my gosh, I'm rattling off. I sound like a NASCAR, like all my stickers.
That's what I wanted you to do, though. I wanted you to go ahead and plug everything,
But and that's what these people deserve it, because they're good people that are starting small and have gotten bigger, and some of them are still relatively small and they're just trying to grow. And I like working with those companies because it's the passion. They have a passion and they want to make a person better, and they want to give a product that is better to make. Especially with Maximum Defense and Fort Scott Munitions and Vortex, they want to get it. That's up to the gunfighter to make the gunfighter better than what I had when I was. And it's tremendous. And then Thaddy, of course, with the workout gear, man, that's something I never thought I'd get into, and to have them. I was like, wow. I was like, are you kidding? Sure. I'm not the Rock or anything, but I'll definitely. And they make great stuff. So tremendous.
It's coming up on 10 years. Okay. Coming up on 10 years since the whole thing, so 10 years ago from today, where were you, and did you ever think that your life would be where it is now?
Oh no, because this is not what I wanted to do. It was an adjustment just to do this. And I went through a bad spell where I bought into my own bullshit, dude. You can buy into your own.
Yeah.
It's not fame. It's your own bullshit. You buy your own hype. And a lot of guys that this happens to, I try to reach out to them, because you can go down that rabbit hole, dude. And I'll tell you, I tried to kill myself. I'm not good at it. So obviously I'm here, but I did 3 times, literally. And I've done the crying game in the shower, going, what the fuck, and what's going on with, what did I do? Right. So no, this was never a plan, and that's why it was a complete adjustment. But I think I've gotten through that portion, that hard learning portion of being in the public figure world, to now just being back to Tanto again. And I was called Tanto way before people knew what Tanto was. When I say Tanto, he calls himself as me now. People knew me as Tanto way back before the movie. So I'm back to just being my good, level-headed, fun self. So no, by any means, no. I was going to stay at the agency and then do a few more trips, and then be like the rest of us old contractors. Yeah, I'm gonna retire. No, I think I'll do a few more years. Okay, I'm like, no, I think I'm gonna do a few, and you end up being 60 and you're so really though, it's a benefit because I was able to be home with my kids where I don't think I would have been. I would have kept deploying. So it's a good and bad, but it's where I needed to be. And this is where
I mean, people talk about the contracting money was so good. A buddy of mine, when he was with Blackwater, he's making $1,000 a day tax free. He was like, came home and he bought houses, cars. He's like, this shit's like easy money,
You got to be crazy. I started with them in 2003. I was actually DS, the first high threat class 1, me and Boone. Actually, that's where I met Boone. Yeah. And yeah, those days, man, we were hand over fist, great, and it was wild. It was fun. It was Wild West. But you had to, there were guys that, and there's guys doing some rotten shit, bad shoots and stuff. But there were so many tremendous, great guys that even with little oversight, they still had some. They still were maintaining the standards. And did great things. That was fun, man. I mean, we were making a lot of money. And that's part of the reason why I didn't come home very often. It's because we were making great money. It was unbelievable. It was and Blackwater, that was back in the day. Who, if you don't, can you tell me? Maybe I know him. Would I know him? Have you ever?
I'll tell you off air.
Yeah,
I'll tell you off air. He's also an agency guy, so I'll tell you off air.
Got you.
Yeah. So you probably did know him. But Midnight Range out there is talking about people forget. The whole Benghazi thing was September 11th. It was 2012, wasn't it? 2012. But here's the thing: do you think that was planned, or it was just a coincidence? Honestly,
no, it was planned, dude. No, that was a statement. It was a high value target, which unbelievable that a ambassador like that level of ambassadorship. The dude was a 3-star general. If you want to give him an army rank, I mean, come on. Yeah. He normally in country, because I'd worked in Tripoli. I'd been in Libya for off and on for about 6 months at that time. So I knew the area. I'd worked in Tripoli where the ambassador's actual embassy was. And he had a SIF team. That was his close protection. Oh, yeah? He had a full SF team.
Really?
And right before he comes to Benghazi, they pull him out. And I'm like, where the hell? Why are they pulling his team out of country? No, he had a 10th group. And actually that SIF team that the JOC team, the JSOC team that we show in the movie, and this Special Forces group, that was actually his team that was coming back. They're coming back to help. They weren't coming back in the country because they were scheduled. They were like, holy shit. Yeah. And they were jumping on a plane to get back to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, I just couldn't believe they took him out. Which is, that was completely planned.
I had never heard that side of it. I didn't know that. Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to my buddy Tactical out there. What's up, Tundra? How you doing, buddy? Good seeing you. Miss you too. But yeah, it's crazy. I didn't know. Once again, there's so many things that you can only, you can read about, you can see in a movie, you can see in different things. But and I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole. I know that you've been asked that shit for so damn long, but it's what it is. So anyway, so guys,
it's good. People should know.
Yeah. But thanks for coming on, bud. Clover, I want to give you a couple of seconds to plug podcasts or anything that you've got going on. What do you want to talk about, man?
Real quickly, I say I got Michael Sedini or we'll be on the Fire Friday podcast talking about, year 2, going into year 2 with Walk the Talk America and doing some awesome things. So tune into that. That's pretty much it for me. Other than that, thanks to obviously Chris for coming on. Excellent conversation. For those out there that donated, helped out with 14th Hour Foundation. Really appreciate that. And enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah,
can I tell the people thanks again for all that too? That's to you. That's unexpected. I didn't expect that at all. So man, that's amazing.
Man, it's anything we can do. I try to find. I've been doing this for a long time. I try to find different veteran organizations that we kind of and try to do that with. So especially if we've got a guest, someone's got his own foundation or works closely with the foundation, then we're going to pump that as much as we can. And you're doing great work. And thanks as always for coming on, man. I really do appreciate you. I know you're busy as hell. I'm going to try to see you in September down in Shreveport. if I can get the whole quarantine with this shit going on. I'm really working on that. But guys, if you're out there, go make sure you check out the website out there. We post the links. Go check out the 14th Hour Foundation. Go check out all the sponsors, Maxim, Fort Scott, Medieval, Vortex, all the ones he talked about. Go check them out. Tell them that Tanto sent you and all that. Thanks for everyone for always watching, and we shall see you soon. We'll see you next week with another pretty cool guest, we think. So we'll see you then. Semper Fidelis.